how is it possibly this warm at 7 a.m. wearing shorts in an S-Class? Soft clothes. You join me inside the 2021 Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Yes, an all-new S-Class. And Mercedes has been making these flagship sedans since the 1950s. They've only been calling it the S-Class since '72, but that still means we are 7 generations in on this new S-Class. And Mercedes knows this is a huge deal for the brand, so they're throwing their best design, technology, and powertrains at this new model in the hopes of remaining the king of the full-size luxury sedans. So in this in-depth review, we're going to take a look at the exterior, interior, and then take the new S-Class for a drive to see how they've done. That's today on Miles Per Hour. And there it is, the 21 Mercedes-Benz S-Class. How long have you guys been asking for me to get the new S-Class on the channel? Finally, we can make it happen. I hope you're as excited about it as I am. This one right here is the S580, so it's got the V8. Not all new S-Classes will have a V8, but they all will have the 4MATIC all-wheel drive system. They also won't all be painted in this rubellite red metallic color. I also don't see much red in it. I do see, however, a nice shade of plum. I love this color. I like that it's somewhat unique. I doubt you'll see many S-Classes in this color. I like the intensity of the metallic flake on the surface of the paint. And I like that it's free. Yes, there's a no-cost option for this color. Now when we get to the interior, you'll let me know if you like how this one's spec'd with black leather, or if you like how I would choose it with perhaps a chestnut colored leather. But for now, let me know in the comments if you like this paint color. Now let's get into the exterior of the new S-Class. We'll start with the grille. It has changed. The shape is slightly different. We have more corners. It's also not as wide and narrow as the last S-Class. It's now a little more scrunched in and taller. I did notice immediately that this plastic panel right here, which houses a lot of the driver assistance features, does appear larger than the last S-Class and more noticeable. You can see the reflection off the sun almost immediately, and you can really tell the difference between that and real grille. That I'm not so keen on. Of course, you have the TriStar hood ornament paired with a flush-mounted Mercedes-Benz badge. The headlight designs are different as well. I really liked the last S-Class's sort of 3 LED daytime running lights on the inner part of the headlight, and then the design, the shape of the last headlights. These I don't dislike, they just don't have quite as much impact to me. What do you guys think though? So here's your daytime running light running on top. They are standard adaptive LED headlights. Got Mercedes-Benz written right there on the side. Sort of a pinstriping here for the housing. This one has the AMG line package, which means you're going to get unique lower fascia in the front and rear. This in black gloss for these pieces here, and non-pass-through ventilation here. However, that is functional ventilation there, so it's channeling cooler air to the front brakes and tires. I like the AMG line with the spec we have here for sure. Moving to the side, all S-Classes will come standard with 19-inch wheels. The AMG line models will get 20-inch wheels, but this one right here has optional 21-inch V-Motion wheels, and I love these wheels. They're classic S-Class look to me. All the spokes, all the goodness. The brushed metal finish on the outside. I like the Mercedes-Benz gray painted brake calipers. Good looking wheels. They really help square up the stance of this car. The AMG line also is going to mean you get these black gloss lower skirts. You get a black gloss lower arm to the door mirrors. You do have this chrome window trim even with the AMG line, but I think it just works. That's S-Class classic right there. In profile, you'll see the length of this car. It's longer and wider than the last generation S-Class, and it looks it. There is definitely symmetry here with the rest of the Mercedes-Benz lineup, but this is just, it's so much more stately than the other Mercedes-Benz sedans. Getting to the back, I really like this pillar here. The shape of the pillar, the design, the sculpting there is good, leading into a very clean tailgate, trunk. This one character line running from the back all the way to the nose. And the taillights. A lot of different opinions about the taillights. I, for one, when I first saw photos, wasn't a fan. However, when I did see the car in person, I immediately changed my tune. I love the look of them. I know that they've been graduated up from the A-Class to the E-Class and now finally to the S-Class, and that typically works in the other way around. It kind of trickles down from S down. These went in the other direction, but I do like the designs. And these aren't your typical A-Class taillights in that they have all these intricate LED designs in here. S580 badging, got this chrome strip across the trunk. Dropping it down. A brush metal finish around the tail, or around the exhaust. However, when you look inside, you'll see two pipes, one finisher on both sides, and a pretty subtle diffuser here. I do really like the rear design of this new S-Class. The more time I spend with it, it translates so much better in the metal versus in photos. The profile is all clean and good. The face is something I will come around to. I don't really dislike it. I just prefer the last S-Class's face. Just had a little more statement to me. And with that, let's hop inside. And on our way in, we'll see we have keyless entry for the front doors and the rear ones. What do we say to that? Maximum convenience. Not just that, they are flush door handles. So when the car is locked, they sit up tight to the body like this. But if you have the key in your pocket and you approach, the car will present the door handles. Or if you've been standing around for a while, like I have, you may need to come up close and just press on the door handle so they present with Mercedes-Benz on top of each door handle. You stick your hand inside and you just pull and reveal a very different, very contemporary S-Class cabin. This one has black leather. Not just black leather, it has exclusive Napa leather, so you get this gorgeous quilting on the seats and a very soft leather feel. I've already mentioned I would choose chestnut for my color of leather with this exterior color. Do you like the black though? Would you choose a different color? Let me know in the comments. Real quick to run through the options on this tester right here, we have the warmth and comfort package. So in addition to the standard heating, ventilation, and massaging for the front seats, you get heating and ventilation for the rear seats, along with memory. We also get heating for all the armrests, including on the center and doors, front and rear, and a heated wood and leather steering wheel. I mentioned the AMG line. That's going to give you these AMG carpets, along with aluminum foot pedals with rubber pieces on them for grip. Then we have the lacquer flowing lines, this trim up here on the dashboard, which I've seen on other Mercedes-Benz vehicles, and I don't find it quite as effective in those because it reminds me unfavorably of a man in a pinstripe suit. This, however, I think it's the gaps between the pinstripes, just looks like flowing, wrapping luxury around the front passengers. So this gets a thumbs up from me, even though it is, at its base, piano black, like this. Then we also have the 3D tech package, so you get a 3D gauge cluster and augmented reality for your massive head-up display. And finally, we get the Burmester high-end 4D sound system, which means you get all these amazing speaker covers and 30 individual speakers in the cabin with 1,750 watts of power, 2 resonators per seat, and near-ear speakers for the driver. So, if, for example, they are having navigation instructions read to them, it's not going to disturb anyone else in the cabin. They just hear it. My favorite part about the system, though, is that the tweeters present themselves when you start up the car. They come out and rotate. It's pretty cool. With all that out of the way, let's talk about the build quality and design of this interior. Exquisite. I love all of the quilting on the doors. The ambient lighting, next level stuff here. Mercedes-Benz has always killed it with the ambient lighting. They take it to a new level here. First of all, in bright sun, have we ever seen ambient lighting pop this much? In bright sun, this is crazy. At night, looks even more dramatic. The vibrance, all the different color options, how they interact with certain safety features, the ambient lighting, they kill it with the new S-Class. Build quality is excellent. I mention in every video that has piano black that I don't like piano black for the fact that it smudges and scratches, but it does look good, okay? It looks good while it's clean. Door handles feel good, knurled finishes on the seat controls. You can adjust your headrest, your backrest, send your thigh support forward, however you may like it. Window switches feel pretty high quality. Down here we have a power trunk release. Pops up pretty quick, and you can send it back down from here. You can even pause it if you forgot something halfway through. We also have the lights controls have moved from down here to up here on the door with their own knurled finish surround. I like the position of them. Smart. I also like that the air vents have their own knurled finishes, and they make a satisfying click when you move them. Let's hop inside now. Close up this door, which is actually an effort because it's so far away and the handle is hidden between the armrest and the panel, so you gotta grab it. But the rest is easy because it's soft closed doors. Let's start up the cabin. Mercedes-Benz. Start up the car. We're in the cabin. This is also new. You see that profile thing there? Well, we have fingerprint recognition now in the new S-Class. So if you put your finger here and you've set up a profile in the car, it will recognize who you are. Other ways to authenticate yourself include voice recognition and Face ID. Pretty neat, sophisticated stuff. So you have all your personalization settings the moment you get in the car. What we're not seeing here in this cabin are a lot of physical buttons. They've replaced most of them with touch controls. So you have touch controls here on the steering wheel. That's nothing new. But this cleaning up this center console area is something new. Got a lot of that piano black here, but you can push this back and reveal your cup holders, wireless smartphone charging, 2 USB-C ports, knurled finish there, knurled finish here. Pretty good size center console, 2 more USB-C ports. And back to the 12.8-inch OLED display. Such high resolution, vibrant colors, 50% faster processing power with the MBUX infotainment than previous S-Classes. And so it's quick to respond. The menu structure is really intuitive. MBUX was already sort of top of the line in the luxury segment. Now it's just so much better. Really good. Wireless Apple CarPlay now. And I'm not going to show you that right here because I'm using my smartphone and I have airplane mode on right now, but I'll show you some B-roll of that. So much customization here. Ton of customization here on the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. I mentioned we have 3D for that with that package. You can't really see that through the camera. You need a pair of eyes to see it. Just believe me, it's a pretty intense effect. I found myself turning it off most of the time. Like the last S-Class, this gauge cluster is super customizable. I'm not going to go through all the different settings. I'll let you watch my walk around video for that, but I will show you navigation, taking over the whole screen there. Exclusive. Now there's sort of a white theme, including on the display in the center. Sport red, or understated. That's just going to clean up both displays. In addition to that, you can change up the information on your head-up display, showing augmented reality, eco information, speed limit info, sport displays, all that. That's quick access from here. I'm also, as I'm going through all these, I'm noting that the capacitive touch controls here on the steering wheel, the left ones for the left display, the right for the right display, have improved so much. Before, I felt like previous generations, it was like 50% success rate. You'd swipe twice and maybe it would work once. Now, it's working like every time. So this is such a huge improvement, and it means it's not frustrating anymore. Big win right there. Paddles on the steering wheel, these do feel kind of dinky and plasticky, but you may not use them all that often. That's not what this vehicle is about. Is an upgrade here are the turn stalks, the turn signal stalks, metal knurled finish here on the ends. There is some rougher plastic, but that's more recessed. You're not going to touch that all that often. Steering wheel heating is here, and then down here are the power controls for the wheel. It isn't fast, but you can find a good position for yourself as a driver. Hopping back to the infotainment for a second, just looking at the shape of the center console, I just love the ramp up. It's so beautiful. If you are going to get rid of a lot of controls, at least do it so it's a captivating design, and I think they've done that well here. A couple more things to point out on this infotainment. Your drive modes are here. They are press, so you press on this capacitive touch point here. These are the drive modes. You got Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual. You can also press the car, and that will bring up some of your common controls. You want 3D driver display, you can hit that here. Head-up display on or off, raising or lowering the vehicle, turning on lane keep assist, steering assistance. Those are all readily accessible right here, and that makes it easy. That makes it not so annoying not to have physical controls. Start-stop button here, knurled finish, also a physical press here to turn on and off start-stop. I like that it's an actual button right there. You don't have to hunt in the menu anywhere. Looking in the glove box now, which is covered in leather. Fragrance canister. Evil fragrance canister. That's just to me. I don't like the fragrance. I turned it off immediately getting in the car, but it's part of the Energizing Comfort Revitalization program. You can get at that in here, and selecting one of these programs will prompt some cool designs on the infotainment and different light patterns from the ambient lights and sounds and scents from the fragrance thing. Super hokey if you ask me, but some people love it. Up here we've got our air vents, knurled finishes, and we move from the last S-Class's round designs for those four to rectangular designs. Big moves. Up here, ambient lights, speaker cover design, your interior lighting, and then you can press this right here to open the rear passenger sunshade. You can also press this here to raise the back glass sunshade. Modest looking rearview mirror, nothing to say about that. The whole headliner is covered in a suede-like material. Mercedes-Benz calls it Dynamica. You have two sun visors. So first I'll just show you just a normal vanity mirror. It does slide, and it slides all the way. Love that. And then your second sun visor comes down. Neato. While we're looking up here, look at the grab handles. Leather with stitching, so very nice. Now let's check out the rear seat accommodations. We can also see the soft closed doors from the outside. Boom. And we're not going to this side. No, we're going to the preferred and chauffeured side. Nice, wide opening doors for a grand entrance. Speaking of grand, we got the lacquer flowing lines extravagantly adorning the backs of the seats, just like on the dashboard. Ambient lighting below there, leather below that, all leather on the seat backs. And then the quilted exclusive Napa leather on the seats. Got your own adjustments here on the doors, more knurled finishes, heating and ventilation controls, just like on the front seats. And memory, I did mention that. Your controls here, I'll get into those in a second, but you got your ornate Burmester speaker covers, Mercedes-Benz tread plates, just like the front. And now let's hop inside. Oh, so much leg room. That seat may be an inch or two further forward than it would be for another 6-footer, but this is what we're dealing with. Here in the US, we're gonna get just long wheelbase versions of the S-Class, so these are our leg room accommodations, which are so generous. And the foot pockets are decent size. These are tall shoes, so you can slide your feet under them. Headroom, let's take a look. Plenty of headroom. One thing that's definitely missing a standard rear zone of climate control, even just one. 4-zone climate control is an option in the new S-Class, but there should just be a 3rd zone as standard when you're paying this much money. You do have plenty of ways to charge your devices. 2 more USB-Cs, 1 15-volt AC socket, nice stitching on the leather there, piano black, square air vents with knurled finishes. That's all good. More knurled finishes for these air vents here on the pillars. Coat hook. But, I mean, come on, I want a 3rd zone climate control. This is the 5-seater configuration here. So you can have a 5th passenger in there, and their headrest can pop up. How do I do that? On the other side. Now they've got a headrest, look at that. But it folds down. And this also folds down. It's damped. Here, knurled finish, button control to open up a shallow storage compartment. This is a pass-through back here for snowboard or skis, whatever S-Class owners do. And then this is a rubberized textured surface for smartphone storage. No wireless smartphone charging there on this one. Then this opens up to 2 cup holders, decent size. I like the mechanism, that's cool. Stow that away. What else we got? Let's close the door and take a look-see. Soft close. All right, so we've got some controls here. If that wasn't already up, you could raise that. I can, this sunshade, make it close or open. Look at that Burmester speaker cover. How intricate and cool is that? Suede headliner just like the front. Leather grab handles just like the front. Here are your lights, your cabin lights. A couple different settings for that. We have, if you pull up on both of these, sunshades for the windows. Now we've got complete coverage. No sun shall get in here, I say. Yeah, these rear digs are incredible. And I could get into a very comfortable seating position and fall asleep back here post-haste. This is very nice. Now, let's go to the front and wrap up with a couple things. We know what those are. Yeah, we do. But first I want to show you the trunk. So, pop that open. Power opening and closing. Trunk lid. Look at all of that space. Glorious space. 19 cubic feet of it. That's more than the Audi A8 and BMW 7 Series. Grocery handle. Hold your bags. Additional cubby over there. That is real metal. For your handle to lift up and show you a small extra cubby. No spare tire. You can afford an S-Class. You can afford someone to come take care of your burst tire for you. That closed somewhat violently. Didn't expect that. Hopping back into the front seats. It's kind of dark. I'm going to open up the sun visor. Just swipe. Isn't that neat? Just swipe it. Can you swipe it? Do. You can swipe it. Swipe again. Oh, I pressed. So pressing will tilt it. But now I want to swipe it again to open it. Ta-da! Oh, and then that adjusts. So there's no extra light. You just get the light from here. You don't get the light from back there. Clever? I don't know. Big bottle test. That's what we're doing next. Do we have a spot for our big bottle in the new S-Class? So, front cup holders, you are first. No fit there. It could probably go in front of the smartphone holder, but I don't like that. Could scratch the piano black. Center console. Oh, that looks big. Enough for a big bottle, you betcha. So we got one spot. Door pocket, you're up next. I don't know about this one. Oh, well, hey, it kind of just, it nuzzles in there. Door test shows it's a pass. So we have 2 spots for our big bottle in the brand new S-Class. It is a pass. Now all we have left to do is to rev it up. No tachometer on there. We're doing it anyway. Rev it up and go for a drive. All right, guys, we're doing things a little differently for this drive impressions. Instead of having a camera here looking at my face, I wanted you guys just to see the S-Class driving experience. And you may also notice there are a few other brand new S-Classes around me. Is this just some sort of Twilight Zone? No. I'm on a first drive event for the new S-Class, so we've got some other media folks parked around here. Let's start up the new S-Class and get on going. And I'm going to pull down on the drive selector. Now the first thing we're going to see is not typically just me slamming the throttle and seeing how quick it is off the line. The first thing we're going to see is how maneuverable this new S-Class is in a parking lot. Tapping into that, there are two different levels of rear wheel steering angle you can have on the new S-Class. You can either have 4.5 degrees, as is equipped on this vehicle, or 10 degrees. And if you get the 10-degree option, it turns the turning radius of the S-Class into effectively a compact sedan. We don't have that. We have 4.5 degrees though, but I'm going to show you how much it really helps. Okay, it's a short demo of how much it really helps, but it just makes maneuvering in a parking lot so easy. I'm glad you stopped me because that was actually a perfect prompting. One, I want to show you all the different camera angles that you can do with the S-Class. It's kind of wild how it pulls in the outside imagery so well. It's perfect, and you could see the wheels turning. It's so cool. You can see the turn signals go on. That's just awesome. But I also wanted to show you the navigation system, and the augmented video that you get is standard in the S-Class, and the augmented reality that you get in the head-up display as part of that 3D tech package. It's pretty darn neat. Here's a steep driveway. No problems with clearance. And I didn't even feel it. Not at all. Look at this. The arrows directing me here. And then up here, it's going to show me the street name on navigation, along with the proper route to go. You can see it up there on the head-up display as part of augmented reality as well. Now, the question here is going to be whether people are kind enough to let me go left. It's going to ask nicely. Thank you. Creep out here. Ask nicely. Thank you. Now we're starting in comfort mode for the plushest ride. And we can really just lean on that air suspension to soak up any road blemishes should we encounter them. And we can just listen for the quietness in this cabin. How quiet is it in the new S-Class? We're going to build up some speed and see how it is at higher speeds, but at low speeds, it's just as close to silent as you're going to get in a road car. Maybe the Rolls-Royce Ghost or Phantom would be slightly quieter, but those are also 3 times the price. Comfort. These seats. I didn't mention that as part of this first drive program, I did drive up 165 miles from Orange County to now where we are in Solvang, in just south of Central California. And so I've spent quite a bit of time in these seats, and I'm actually going to ventilate them right now, and perhaps massage them too. Going here to comfort. Let's try, I'm not going to do a hot relaxing back. It's plenty hot outside. I don't need that. Let's do activating. And I turned on intensity, so I've got ventilation going, I've got activation going. And just the seats themselves are so superbly comfortable. 165 miles, 3-ish hours of driving, and I got out and I was fresh. It was like I'd just been 10 minutes tootling around town. Now we're moving. It still remains incredibly quiet in here. That V8 engine just fading into the background. Some bumps and bruises in the road.
But this is the best ride quality I have experienced in a Mercedes-Benz vehicle, because my typical complaint about Mercedes-Benz vehicles is not that the bumps are harsh, that you can feel them, it's that you can hear them. In this vehicle, you don't even hear them. Just insanely quiet and at ease. The pillow on my head is so comfortable. The support on the side that you just sink into the seats, but there's plenty of ergonomic support. Oh, it matters. It matters in a vehicle like this that you can just eat up the miles as I did this morning on the drive up here. Okay, and now it's time to talk about that engine, because even though we're not going to do crazy speeds, I'm going to make a left turn here up at that next intersection, and then I'm going to get on it. So let's move into the right drive mode, the proper drive mode for that. Let's go to Sport. And it's pretty easy to change up the drive modes. Obviously in Mercedes-AMG vehicles where you have the dial, it's so much easier. But here, just tapping the dynamic will get you over one if you know the correct order of the drive modes moving along from left to right or right to left. You'll find the right one in no time at all. It's not that distracting. All right, we're popping on that freeway. And I can talk about this engine. Let's see how it handles itself. Dang. This is a full-size sedan, and it just takes corners really, really well. All right, 4-liter twin-turbo V8 at our disposal, making 496 horsepower. That's 33 more horsepower than the last generation S-Class, and 516 pound-feet of torque. It's connected to a 9-speed automatic gearbox, sending power to all 4 wheels. 0 to 60 takes 4.4 seconds. Top speed, who cares? I think it's like 128 miles per hour. Doesn't really matter. Fuel economy might matter to you. That is estimated. They haven't released final numbers at 17 city, 25 highway, and 20 to 21 combined. But this engine is a peach. To tap into it a bit more, let's go to Sport Plus drive mode. And then I can use these somewhat dinky paddles on the steering wheel. You do have 9 speeds, so you got a lot of down clicking to do. Oof. Yeah, it gets moving. It definitely gets moving. And it does so majestically. There's not a lot of brash movements around the cabin. Your body doesn't go flailing. It just gets you up to speed. And it remains relatively quiet inside this cabin. There's a bit of wind noise. Completely minimal road noise. And if you don't want to hear the engine, you don't really have to, but if you want to hear it, it just makes a pleasant noise. But yeah, this car absolutely hustles. Now let's take it out of Sport Plus. Come on back to Comfort. You can even go to Individual if you want to, where you can set up a few different things, fine-tune certain aspects of the driving dynamics of your S-Class. And this is really a chunky, not smooth road here. And the ride is just plush. So plush along it. Visibility, great inside this S-Class. Tiny bit of blind spot over by that C-pillar, but you know what? We got all of the driver assistance features available on the S-Class. Heck, they're all standard. So you got blind spot monitoring, and speaking of, I'm actually going to show you this. It's pretty darn cool. When you turn on your turn signal to go into a lane, if there is someone in the way, you're not just going to get a flashing triangle there. The whole ambient lighting section here is going to go red. You see that? That was cool. So it really is going to get your attention. You've got rear cross traffic alert, automatic emergency braking, full speed adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and steering assist, which we can test out right now. So let's go here turn on cruise control, set it at this speed, curve, no problem. Do you want to change lanes? Well, if there's an opening, the car will do it for you. Did you see that on the AR? It just shows the curving of the car with the arrow. How cool is that? And this is just, it's a brilliant autonomous level 2 system where you do need to check in on the wheel, but it just navigates curves in the road perfectly well. We're going to change lanes one more time. This time we're having to come slowly up to this truck. And when we do you see the highlight on the head-up display? It highlights the vehicle in front of you. So cool. My goodness, this car does it all, doesn't it? Just has incredible technology, useful features, the most amazing ride quality, such a well-insulated cabin. The seats are superbly comfortable, and the power is prodigious and available whenever you want it. But at what cost? What's it going to cost for the new S-Class? Oh look, the Pacific Ocean. Hello. Well, the S500 is going to start at $110,000. That's 15 grand more than the outgoing S450. And this S580, that's $117,000. It's a chunk of change. Compare that to the BMW 750i xDrive. That's just under $104,000, so quite a bit less. That vehicle makes 523 horsepower, so more power. It gets to 60 in just 4 seconds. And the fuel economy for that is almost the same at about 20 combined MPGe. The cargo space is 1 cubic foot less. And then we have the Audi S8. That one's a chunk of change more than this car at just under $132,000. It does make 563 horsepower, and it gets to 60 in just 3.3 seconds. The fuel economy for that one, however, is 16 combined MPGe, and the cargo space is just 13 cubic feet. Amidst those, I find that the S8 is probably the best looking. I just like the sharp lines on that car. However, in all other regards, this new S-Class crushes those two competitors. It doesn't just beat them, it absolutely obliterates them. The technology is a complete leap and bound above the 7 Series and the S8. The ride quality is the best. The S8 is probably the next closest, but this is still better than that. The cabin insulation is the best. The comforts, the just complete luxury, classic comforts in this car are the best. And those things, plus plenty of power, not being the most powerful, but plenty of power, mean that this is the absolute pinnacle of full-size luxury sedans. It's the best S-Class they've ever made. It's my goal as a daily driver. This is it. It doesn't get better than this. And if you guys enjoyed this review, then please like, comment, and share it. And I will see you again next time. Until then, check out these views, huh? Check out these views. See you guys next time.